Pretty fancy cars, right? All very different, but all with one thing in common. They all use the Mcleod RST twin disc clutch. Now, cars that make this much horsepower, a stock clutch would never survive, and that's why we're at Mcleod Industries in California to find out how the RST twin disc clutch is made from start to finish, and hopefully we'll learn a little something about clutches along the way. But first, let's go for a ride. Alright, so the Mustang we're driving, this is, what sort of clutch has this got? Has it got the RST?
It's got the RST in it.
Yeah. What are the benefits of using the RST?
RST is a beautiful little thing that we came up with to make a pedal effort very, very light and give you all the holding power for these turbocharged, supercharged vehicles that get up 700, 800 horses and they want to still drive them on the street and still be smooth and fast. And
obviously this car's probably got a fair bit more horsepower than your average daily driver, thus the needs, you know, more power, a better clutch.
Yes, yes.
Well, you got me sold. Let's go and see how you build one. Well, it's hard to think that an entire clutch can come from a little sketch, but that's how you like to work, Red.
That's right. After I get it out of my brain, I take a sketch like this. From there, then we might take it and put it onto a hard copy. The machinist then makes us a prototype, which comes to this hard part we can actually physically have, hand hold, and then we check all the dimensions. Once we have checked all the dimensions, if it's ready to go, then he will create for us a hard copy, and from that hard copy then we're ready for production machining.
And then you have your clutch.
And then we have the clutch assembly, and it's all ready to go once the testing is taking place.
All right, is it okay if we have a poke around the shop?
Let's take a look out there and I'll show you everything that you want to see.
The RST twin disc is an amazing piece of equipment, but it requires some very special parts put together in just the right order to handle all of your horsepower, and that's what Fred's doing behind me right here. He's assembling one right now, and wow, it looks pretty cool.
The assembly of the Mcleod twin disc clutch is fairly straightforward, but you must first make sure to assemble the components in just the right order. Here, Fred began by placing the bottom clutch disc into position. Next, the floater and adapter plate were placed over the disc and mounted to the flywheel. Once the floater was mounted, he went ahead and placed the second disc into position. Fred then carefully lowered the pressure plate onto the disc, making sure it seated perfectly. Once the pressure plate was added, the clutch assembly was nearly complete. Just some strategically placed nuts and bolts, a few measurements, and that's it. This RST clutch was now ready to handle any 800 horsepower motor you could throw at it.
So Red, how did you start in the automotive industry?
In 1971, in January, we opened the doors for Mcleod Industries, me and my brother.
Wow, so about 38 years ago you opened up Mcleod.
We did.
How hard is it back then to build clutches compared to today?
Well, it was all hand intensive. All the labor and everything went into it. Today we have custom made machines that put the stuff together. So I can go out there in a matter of minutes do what I used to take me hours before.
Has the process changed compared to the clutches that you were building back then compared to the clutches today?
Finger styles were more popular then. Now it's all diaphragms, just about all the way through. So it's much easier to assemble them than it was in those days.
Wow, so Mcleod's been around over 30 years and you're going as strong as ever.
Yes, yes. It is a passion with me. Most people, they just go to a job, and I don't go to a job. I go to work because I love it, and I'm going to stay with it as long as I can.
So that's it for Mcleod Industries in California, and hopefully now you know a little bit more about clutches, specifically the RST twin disc clutch. A big thanks to Red and the team for showing us some of the history of the product and also showing us how it comes to you, start to finish, everything from concept through to shipping out the door to your car. My name is Bucko, thanks for watching Power TV.